public works to be more effective in provinces. All provinces to have health authorities. And PNG women claim Fiji in first Melanesia Cup win.
This is National EMTV News with Neville Choi.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Thursday's news. Works Minister Michael Nally announced in Parliament today that a proper framework will be developed for members of Parliament to fully utilize provincial works assets for road development and not to rely on private contractors. The minister said this following questions raised by Eastern Highlands Governor Peter Numu on unfinished road projects between Eastern Highlands and Chimbu Province.
The Eastern Highlands Governor wanted to know why work is yet to start on an alternate highway linking the provinces of Eastern Highlands and Chimbu. He also asked if the government can boost provincial works depots.
The alternate highway from Kamaliki, Goroka to Suawe in Chimbu. And it's an ADB funded road, and for some reasons, no got one work come up. Can the government, through your ministry, holistically empower our provincial works?
Works Minister Michael Nally said work is yet to commence because under agreements with the Asian Development Bank, the Kamaliki to Chuave road is yet to be contracted.
Na dila program, dila road, emi staplo trans 4. Bibla will implement him trans 1, 2, na 3, na blow you, emi stop inside lot trans 4. So I'm stop lot dila program.
He later answered questions on the procurement process of giving contracts to road developers.
The manner in which contracts are awarded, anything below 10 million, Central Supply and Tenders Bodyguard Power award him. Anything above that, is come along NEC.
That led the minister to come down hard on MPs who are working on their own in terms of delivering road projects.
There will come a time me by proposing some senis lo dila kain passing. I think this la one money working more districts here. This la construction company la district. You may lose him now. You must work him. Sample passing where yes, you may can come up with more legal works divisions inside the district blow you me. But something here and something blow people here.
He also condemned them for buying their own machinery and equipment using DSIP funds.
Since the time DSIP and PSIP come inside, not even before too, I must member he buying equipment long end. Me no say I must the equipment and me stop want them district. Time one la member and me buy me equipment and me lose, machine two lose one them.
Stanley Ove Jr., National EMTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has reaffirmed his government's commitment to develop major road projects in the provinces of Western and West Sepik. In a series of questions asked by North Fly MP James Donald on the progress of the Tabubil to Kiyunga and Tabubil to Telefomin Road, Mr. O'Neill said work has already started and Western Province will undergo major road projects over the next 5 years.
The North Fly MP directed his questions to Works Minister Michael Nally on updates in major road projects in Western Province.
Minister, way back 2014, Prime Minister Blomipla biming golong Taubi long Western Province, Kiyunga, na emi mo kisam commitment lo side lo samla road. Na suppose emba tingim ya do nogat. This time emi committee long silim Kiyunga Taubi road. Ta solis la work no come yet. Na now ni pla gama ni form. Ibiga na pla commitment long Taubi Telefomin road. Pino sa one time this road ba come yet.
In response, Mr. Nally said he could not confirm the information and diverted the questions to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister answered by reaffirming the government's commitment in Western Province.
So we are working closely with Octedi to do that under the tax credit scheme, Mr. Speaker.
He then went on to discuss the Tabubil to Telefomin Road, saying a contract has been awarded and road work has already begun.
I am led to believe that it has already started. The contractor, Star West, has already started the work. And I think first 4 or 5 kilometers is already, some work has been done. In fact, a very strategic bridge has already been built. So I'm pleased to say that some work is progressing on that.
However, the Prime Minister made clear that once funding through OTML dividends is available, a major development project will start on Daru Island.
So, Mr. Speaker, I have in fact directed the PNG Water Board. They've recently put out a tender, which has gone out, public tender, which has gone out very shortly. They will recommend to Central Supplies and Tenders Board about supply of fixing all the roads in Daru, putting water and sewage in Daru. Because of the TB that is taking place there, I've taken the initiative of directing them myself, Mr. Speaker. And as soon as we have the funding available from the non-CMCA and CMCA, we will redirect that to make sure that we fix Daru Town once and for all.
Stanley Oved Jr., National EMTV News.
Health Minister Sepuka Temu says by June next year, all provinces should have a provincial health authority to manage the affairs of all hospitals and rural aid posts. The minister said this when responding to West New Britain Governor Sasindran Muthuvel, who wanted clarity on whose responsibility it was to manage rural aid posts and hospitals. Wabeg MP Dr. Lino Tom then raised a supplementary question, saying it wasn't the system which was the problem, but the need for a larger workforce.
Minister Temu says only 10 provinces currently have a provincial health authority and explained provincial hospitals are managed through the Department of Health while aid posts and rural clinics come under the responsibility of the provincial government.
Number one, I want by June next year, all provincial health authorities must be established, an M1 plan. We will look at some of the provinces with your special geopolitical situations carefully, but the thrust is I'm going to make sure that provincial health authorities or PHAs are established.
He said provincial health authorities would remove 2 systems and replace it with 1 authority.
Provincial health authority where CEO is staff, board is staff, only look out in house sick, only look out in aid posts, you go down to district facilities. Now, 1 authority look out in display health system. I think a more better, rather than 2 systems bidding for resources that we don't have, and therefore the efficiency and effectiveness are not there. So,
but for Wabeg MP Dr. Lino Tom, who is also a medical doctor by profession, told Parliament it was more a workforce issue.
I think all provinces where maybe like in PHA, maybe like in plenty problems too. And one of them, as you would know, and Minister for Public Service can take note on this. As people with medical background, we know that the only way to improve health indices in this country is to increase the workforce. And evidence shows that throughout the world. In all of buying plenty medicine, in all of building plenty expensive facilities, we have to increase the health workforce.
Minister Temu responded saying that it was true the number of doctors coming out of the country's medical school was not meeting the demand, but also added that the government is looking to having a university specifically for medicine.
Currently 30 to 50 every year, we want to increase them to 100, 150 a year. So we have sufficient different categories of health workers, and we could become a health workforce exporting nation.
Adelaide Sirox Kari, National EMTV News.
Madang Governor Peter Yama says every commission of inquiry ever instituted by past governments has had little to show in action against recommendations. Governor Yama, speaking in Parliament today, said millions of kina had been spent on numerous commissions of inquiry, yet nobody named in recommendations made has been arrested or charged. Mr. Yama called on the government to seriously look into all commissions of inquiry on corrupt deals and have people held accountable for their actions.
Former judges, holiday pennies, current judges, Planet Judge for Australia, Papua New Guinea, Jimmy Makim, long leading all these inquiries. All the inquiries, all the pennies, and make him decision, come on this Parliament Speaker. And now he step inside on this house, Tambaran Blow Yumi. Now no one black action come up yet. No one black action come up yet. Question blow me a Molsem. Prime Minister must take note seriously. One time, one time, all this recommendation blows inquiries. By all this man, only go past long, make him recommendation by this man. Plenty blow is stealing money blow Papua New Guinea. Plenty blow all this man supposed to be arrested and charged now by police. You may prevent him, you may continue long around him all.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll continue with more local news making headlines after the break. Welcome back to the news. More than 200 participants from various mining and petroleum companies will converge in Madang from the 2nd to the 4th of next month for the PNG Extractive Industries Emergency Response Challenge, formerly known as the National Mining Emergency Response Challenge and organized by the Mineral Resources Authority. The challenge, now under the PNG Chamber of Mines and Petroleum, will see 9 teams tested on their emergency response capabilities. Occupational safety is key to the successful performances of businesses in the extractive industry. The only thing more important than that is learning how to efficiently respond to workplace emergencies of any kind. The 3-day-long PNG Extractive Industries Emergency Response Challenge comprises a theory exam on day 1, followed by 2 days of intense competition in 6 specific events to be staged at the PNG Maritime College in Madang. This year's challenge will feature teams from Octedi Mining, Porgera Joint Venture, Harmony Gold, Simberi, Oil Search, Ramo Nickel, and Newcrest Lihir, who will also be sending a women's team. The challenge, which was started in 2011 by the MRA, aims to improve the capabilities of the resource industry's emergency response personnel to respond efficiently and effectively in emergency situations. Police in Madang may lose all important documents, including court files and exhibits, stored at the town police station as it is in a bad state. Madang Town Police Station Commander Sergeant Stephen Edna says the station is very old, is a fire hazard, and could collapse at any time.
This is the Madang Town Police Station in the center of Madang Town. It was built during the colonial days. The building had housed both police and fire departments during the colonial era and is one of the oldest buildings in town.
So you can look at it. It's been built some, maybe me not stop yet, only building this building now. How much years?
The police station accommodates 3 units, while community policing unit is on the other building. At least 50 police officers operate out of this station. The police station commander, Sergeant Stephen Edna, has been working here for 26 years and has seen the building deteriorate over the years with little effort by successive governments to fix it.
We had some minor maintenance. Minor maintenance been carried out, but not really to the expected standard. Wirings inside here, all wirings. Some time only electricians, private electricians only come checking, but Mipla no sabe whether it's safe or not.
This old building houses vital documents and important court files. These documents would be destroyed and police in Madang will lose all court cases if the building caught fire. The police station commander is appealing to responsible authorities to assist renovate the Madang Town Police Station.
Especially the government and the provincial government and other government institutions. If there is fund available, you know, this police station is right in front or right in the center of the town. We need to improve this.
Masa Luis, National EMTV News, Madang.
Despite many rising to prominent leadership roles in the country, PNG is yet to see more women elected into parliament. Political commentator Dr. Orovu Sepoe says women who contested the 2017 general elections fell victim to public perceptions and opinions based on the performances of the 3 women candidates in the last parliament. Dr. Sepoe says most people tend to judge all women the same. Dr. Sepoe voiced her views while attending a 3-day forum on promoting women's political participation in Medang. Martha Louise has more.
More than 100 Papua New Guineans from all sectors, including government officials, civil society and interested citizens, were part of the week-long forum in Medang. The forum, funded by the UNDP, aims to promote women's political participation, given that no women are represented in the 3rd Parliament. This forum is for women to discuss the recent elections and a range of other issues affecting women's participation in elections.
Each province to come and also share information, hear from them, and also the kind of recommendations that they're looking for to address the issue of no women in Parliament.
The board chair of IPPCC and Gender and Social Inclusion Advisor to the PNG Governance Facility, Dr. Oruvu Sepoe says it is wrong to generalize all women when it comes to election. Dr. Sepoe says the public perception of the past 3 women candidates' performance affected women who contested in the 2017 election.
I know there is a public perception and opinion out there that because the 3 women who were in the last parliament did not perform according to expectations, the women who contested these elections became the victim of that perception. But let me say here that a lot of us tend to put women in one box. The women who contested in these elections are not the same as any other woman who's contested in the past and has won a seat. They all carry different, talents and experiences and skill sets.
She says the playing field of elections in PNG is an uneven one for women, as there are a lot of cultural mindsets which affects their performance. This also includes money and corruption. Therefore, it is not accurate or correct to say all the women who contested lost because of the performance of the last 3 women MPs.
To put everybody in one box is an unfair judgment. In fact, you would never ever have that kind of judgment and assessment on male candidates. Okay, regarding the playing field of elections, it's an uneven one.
This is a national issue which needs to be addressed. However, women get most of the problem simply because they are women. And despite a lot of women contesting the elections, a lot of them still feel discriminated against.
So there's a lot of issues out there that has affected women's performance. It's not just basically because of whatever perceptions people have about how the 3 women performed in their term in the last parliament.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Medang.
Water PNG is celebrating its anniversary in style. The service provider has turned 30 this year. The company began 30 years ago on January 1st, 1987. It has come a long way in providing water and sanitation services in the country and is now operating in 23 centers.
Water PNG has been distributing water to the rural areas of Papua New Guinea and has been managing the sewage system in provincial centers for 30 years now.
A lot of safe, clean water. If there's any development that is going to take place, it must take place in the water sector, because water sector propels economic development. Without water, there is no town. Without water, there is no city. And today, that's a challenge that we have. And of course, as we look around, in Port Moresby is pretty dry, very, very dry. So our water resources are also under threat.
In commemorating their services, the water provider has been hosting numerous events to pay tribute to the company. The celebrations kicked off last Friday with a clean-a-thon around the country in all its centers, followed by a family fun day. Water PNG will officially end its celebrations in Leh in 2 weeks' time with a national university debate on water and sanitation services in the country, Merlin Diakatam, National EMTV News.
Border security remains a key priority for Papua New Guinea. Defense Minister Solan Mirisim says all security agencies will work in close consultation to address this issue. One of them is to boost border patrol operations.
Two border provinces of West Sepik and Western are one of the key focus areas for the new Defense Minister. This is to restore and upgrade border patrols. Recently, the high-profile delegation visited Western Province where several key issues were highlighted. Minister Mirisim said all border security agencies such as PNG Customs, PNG Migration, Border Development Authority, Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, PNG Defence Force and border provinces should work together to address border security. Meanwhile, a new PNGDF patrol post site has been launched, which sets a new milestone for PNG's northern border security. Minister Mirisim said the groundbreaking ceremony is the start of more patrol posts to be identified and established to beef up security along the northern and southern borders of Papua New Guinea. This will also include the maritime borders as well. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3125 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.305 US, 0.3842 Australian dollars, 0.2558 euro, and 34.05 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, cocoa closed higher, while gold, coffee, and copper closed the day lower. Copper closed higher, while palm oil and crude oil closed the day lower. And lastly, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 56.39 points higher, the ASX closed at 6.12 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 5.98 points higher. You're with Thursday's news, stories making headlines overseas. When we return, stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas now, secretly filmed footage of some of the world's most dangerous men behind major ISIS terror attacks has been released. Among those seen in the recordings is notorious jihadi John, shown laughing as the group planned attacks.
At the time this footage was taken, they were the world's most wanted men. 4 ISIL kingpins with foreign ties, unmasked and secretly filmed at the Syrian cafe where they made their murderous plans. On the couch sits Mohammed Emwazi, the infamous jihadi John. The man involved in 7 beheadings casually charges his phone and chats with senior ISIL recruiter Riyad Khan from Wales. The group's leader, Wanaid Hussein, sits opposite sniper training expert Raymond Matimba. Matimba, from Manchester, is said to have been in contact with suicide bomber Salman Abedi earlier this year, before Abedi carried out his attack at Manchester Arena. It's also said that plans for the Bataclan Theatre attack in Paris were made in this Syrian cafe. The man who risked his life to get the footage into British hands is a Syrian national. Of the 4 jihadis depicted, Raymond Matimba is the only one who may still be alive. The other 3 were killed by drone strikes in 2015. But on the same day the cafe video emerged came another reminder that the region is as dangerous as ever. This Russian military footage claims to show their recent airstrikes on Islamic State targets in northern Syria.
Puerto Rico remains in the midst of a humanitarian crisis following devastation caused by Hurricane Maria. The island is still without power and more than 1 million people don't have access to clean drinking water. The mayor says people are starting to die. U.S. President Donald Trump has spoken out, saying he will visit the island next week after being accused of not doing enough.
Tonight, a lifeline to a town cut off since the hurricane.
I want to talk to them. I want to tell them that I'm okay. That don't worry for me.
The Red Cross setting up satellite internet for the residents of Vega Alta. For Lydia Rivera, it's a godsend. Once she's connected, relief as her phone lights up with messages from her family.
That's the messenger.
Leaving a voicemail for her mother.
Hello, Mami. Bendición.
Military operations are bringing tons of equipment and supplies to the island, but residents in this town tell me they're still waiting for help.
Their supply is coming tomorrow. That's what they told us.
A full week after the storm ravaged this U.S. territory, thousands are still in shelters. One man posting videos from residents in Utuado to Facebook.
My name is Robert Strawn, and if they see this thing, know that I am okay and that I am well taken care of.
What's out there is total devastation, total annihilation, people literally gasping for air.
Nearly half of the island still without water. The lines of people hoping to get gas, food, even money seem longer than ever. And a crowd at the airport, people hoping for a seat on one of the few flights out.
Ethnic Rohingya Muslims who fled violence in Myanmar are now also facing resentment from the Bangladeshi community where they have taken refuge. Close to 500,000 Rohingyas are sheltering in camps across the border, but locals and visitors say they are creating problems and should go home.
The refugee camps of southern Bangladesh are a hive of construction. On hills untouched just weeks ago, huts are becoming homes. New roads reach into the ever-expanding settlements. But an hour's drive away, in Bangladesh's beach destination of Cox's Bazar, neither locals nor visitors want this latest wave of Rohingya refugees getting too comfortable.
Myanmar is their motherland. They should be back to their...
Tuk-tuk driver Saiful Islam reflects a commonly held fear here that desperate refugees will commit crime to survive and ruin the resort vibe on which this town depends.
They steal things and create issues. Many of the new arrivals are begging, and the number of beggars in town has increased a lot.
A fellow driver is nervous for a different reason. He's an earlier refugee who fears the already common prejudice could escalate.
People who know me as Rohingya feel I'm not good, while those who do not know feel I'm not bad.
Praised for opening its border on humanitarian grounds, this small, poor and densely populated country now faces the moral and financial burden of nearly 500,000 destitute people. As the sun sets on the initial wave of sympathy for the refugees, this government will face increasing domestic pressure to return them.
Even established Rohingya admit to feeling torn.
What happens next will depend on the government here, but it will be better if they go back.
But Bangladesh can neither negotiate an end to Myanmar's ethnic conflict nor provide for the hundreds of thousands fleeing it. For both those things, this country and its newest inhabitants are depending on the rest of the world.
Trukai Sport is up next, and we'll have the details when we come back.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. With less than 2 months to this year's Mini Pacific Games, the PNG Karate Federation is well into its training camp at the Sir John Guy's Indoor Sports Complex. Training under the watchful eyes of President Sensei Carl Murray, Sensei Trevor Roberts from Brisbane was present to guide the athletes through routine exercises.
More than 20 athletes started their training camp last Saturday as part of their preparations towards the Mini Pacific Games in December. Head coach Sensei Trevor Roberts says time is all that matters to get the athletes ready and keep the momentum going before game time. He says performance and fitness level of the athletes is there, but what they need to better is technique.
Doing a week-long program. I'm here three times today. Okay, so we have like three 1.5 hour sessions. So this is going to come into the second session, and we're trying to sort out get the team ready for the mini Pacific Games. Yes.
He says the federation is hoping to get as many athletes as possible to the games.
We would hoping to go for around about 20, 22 players, but we've got to see how they work from now on until till December. Okay. As you can see in the background, they've got some really top players here, and we hope that they're going to medal, definitely medal. Okay.
With a day before the camp ends on Saturday, Sensei Trevor says a national event will be held to ensure that PNG selects its best athletes to attend the mini-games in Vanuatu.
I'm pushing the boundaries. So now the boundaries have changed a little bit. So now instead of being very close quarter fighting, it's more distance fighting, and that's what we're here now to try and work on these guys to get more spring in their step. Okay, because that's where they're fighting from right back and coming in, score and come back out again. So that's what we're trying to do now. It certainly has changed, yes.
Athlete Nigel Bana says preparations and training for the team is going well and thanked Sensei Trevor for making time available to get the athletes back on track.
We're working on our tactics in preparation for the mini games.
Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
And Trukai Sports continues on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To Rugby League now, and SP Hunters coach Michael Marum has retained the 2017 Queensland ISC Premiership winning side for the Australian State Championships clash against New South Wales ISC Premiers Penrith Panthers. They will play at the NRL Grand Final Day this Sunday, October 1st at ANZ Stadium in Sydney. The interstate clash kicks off at 2:40 p.m. as a curtain raiser to the NRL Grand Final between the Cowboys and the Storm. The team leaves on Friday and returns on Monday. Still in Rugby League, 11 years ago, Cameron Smith won the biggest individual honour in Rugby League. Now he has done it again.
In medal and also took home Captain of the Year and Hooker of the Year, while his coach Craig Bellamy was honoured with Coach of the Year in a Melbourne Storm Heavy Awards ceremony. True to form, Smith was as humble as ever.
Considering I'm at the back end of my career now rather than the beginning, being 34 and having the opportunity to win another Dally M is pretty special, but everyone knows it's a team sport, not an individual sport. And
Cameron Smith has so far this year won the Dally M medal and Origin Series and is one win away from a premiership and has the World Cup later in the year. Northland has risen up the Mitre 10 Championship leaderboard to third after gutsy 32-30 win against Otago last night in Whangarei. Midfielder Jack Goodhue igniting the match with this rampaging run up the middle after an intercept. Fullback Solomona Alaimona then blitzing Otago's defence to finish off the only try of the first half. Northland extending their lead with another try 2 minutes into the second half, thanks to the quick thinking of winger Yone Makilai. Winger Yona Nariki grabbing a consolation try at the death for Otago. However, it was too little, too late for the Southerners.
And that's Trukai Sports for now. We've got the weather next, but after that, stay tuned. We'll find out where the Rugby League World Cup trophy is around the country. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And now to the weather forecast for tonight. Port Moresby, cloudy periods. In Daru, becoming cloudy with a shower or two. Kerma, cloudy with a shower or two, mostly fine and partly cloudy in Alatau, and some rain showers in Poponeta, rounding off the southern region. In Momase, rain showers in Ley, few rain showers in Madang, and some thundery rain showers for Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul, and Kimbe, some thundery rain showers and a few rain showers in Buka. In the Highlands region, all centres, a shower or two, and then morning fog. There is a strong wind warning for tonight and tomorrow. There's a strong wind warning current for all coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through to Torres Strait and Darrow to Hood Point to all Milne Bay Islands and Cape Vogel. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Darrow to Hood Point to Samurai Island, with waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters of Kiwai Island to Kerama to Yule Island, and with waters of Long Island to Madang to Bogia to Wewak to Aitape to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Samurai Island to Cape Vogel to Finschhafen seas 2 to 2.5 meters. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitius Strait, including Siasi Islands to Long Island, seas 1.5 to 2 meters. And waters of Manus and its western group of islands, and with waters of east and west New Britain to New Ireland to Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Ocean forecast for PNG areas for tonight and tomorrow. Coral Sea seas rough with southeast winds at 25 to 34 knots. Solomon Sea seas moderate to rough with southeast winds at 25 to 34 knots. Bismarck Sea seas slight to moderate with southeast winds at 10 to 20 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, seas slight with northeast to easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Now, before we go, the Rugby League World Cup trophy, that is, continued its tour around the New Guinea Islands. The tour, headed by Oil Search executives and EMTV cameraman Andrew Howe, visited Rabaul and Gazelle yesterday and continued on to Lihir Island today.
The ultimate prize in rugby league right down to the village level will certainly inspire future rugby league stars in PNG, says Julie Totsik, a former junior Como. Welcoming the trophy at the Zuan Christian School on Lihir Island this morning, Totsik said sports is one thing that can unite a nation and also assist youths in staying away from trouble.
Lihir Rugby Footballing revived League, Low Island, and we are very grateful to embrace this tour. We play how much through lo embracing this tour, lo World Cup lo round lo ya.
He also thanked Oil Search Limited for taking the Paul Barrier Trophy around the country, bringing an international star right down to the village level, adding that they were privileged to have the prestigious trophy at their school.
By adding value, by building interest on youth learning to be more involved in sports.
Totsik also thanked Newcrest Mining Lihir, who partnered with Oil Search to bring the Paul Barrier Trophy to Lihir Island, adding that such gestures were appreciated by the community. This similar message was repeated by Newcrest Mining's General Manager for Mining, Lawrence Manjanwa. Manjanwa, when addressing the community at Londolovit town, said sports is an important tool that can be used to foster goodwill in the communities.
Winning also does not only give us pride of winning, but it also gives us pride of hosting this cup on the island. So we would want to officially welcome this cup on the island.
He said Newcrest was happy to partner with Oil Search to bring the trophy to the people of Lihir Island.
This does not only show our great support of the sport, but it also affirms our commitment to develop and lift the level of code of the sport on the island.
The Paul Barrier Trophy continued its 2017 Rugby League World Cup PNG Trophy Tour, sponsored by Oil Search Limited yesterday, arriving in the night on Lihir Island.
Let us sing of our joy to be free, praising God and rejoicing to be Papua New Guinea, southern from the mountains to sea.
engagement, Leon Baskin said Oil Search was happy to be bringing the trophy to the people and connecting them to the 2017 Rugby League World Cup.
Let me first thank you very much for I think the moving for us, it was really touching to learn first time that the cup has landed on an island in Papua New Guinea. We've been taking it around.
The trophy is currently in New Island Province. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
And that's the way it is this Thursday, the 28th of September 2017. From the entire EMTV News team, I'm Neville Choi. Pleasant viewing. Good night.